Guys, welcome back to another episode of Always Making. Thanks for joining us here in our basement again for another awesome conversation with another local artist, WB Tam. I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing everything right. It's always sometimes hard with Instagram shop names and everything. But Deedee here is upcycle, like fair. Like how would you describe the type of fashion that you're making? It is,
I would say like sustainable clothing.
okay, sustainable fashion clothing
Mhm.
artist that we have here local to Salt Lake with some amazing pieces. We're going to get into a really cool conversation about everything she's done. We had a really fun time spending 3 days with her at the Craft Lake City DIY Fest. She had a booth right next to us.
Yep.
She had an awesome little cute dog. Our baby loved him. And so we've had great conversation, and we finally got her to come down to our studio and have some conversation. But housekeeping wise, there's not much that I'm aware of at this point. We're still going to be at Mill Creek Common for
the Maker's Mart
is still happening through May 27th, so you guys can go check out some stuff there. We have some things on line that we've been putting some updates from our last episode. Some of those things should be up in the shop, maybe, fingers crossed we got those done.
Yeah.
But and then just small apologies, allergy season is here and I'm a little stuffy. Christy's a little stuffy, but we're gonna get through this and have a great awesome conversation. Let's talk, Deedee, about everything you're doing. It was 2021 you started this whole thing here in Salt Lake, right?
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about the history and how you got started.
Well, it's back into like 2013
Okay.
that I really like start the shop. But it's like I didn't do like clothing. I didn't do like making like shirt, jacket or whatever. I started with a men's accessory.
Like, so you're talking like belts or like
bow
cufflinks?
tie,
Like,
neckties.
bow ties and neckties. Okay.
That's how I started. So actually, because like at that time I was like working as a fashion designer in New York, and at the time I feel like I just like kind of got bored of my job a little bit. Like things just like get into the routine, like the production, the design process that like manufacturing, like mass production, that type of thing. So at some point I just feel like, I just need to create some like a creative outlet. So
For
that's
yourself, yeah.
right. So it's like at that time I work in this like a fashion industry, and I work in like a men's clothing. So I'm just like kind of getting into like, maybe like make some like a men's accessory stuff, like something like easy to make. I can do it like on the weekend or like my free time. So that actually how it started. It's like back in 2013.
As a little side creative outlet kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, when you moved to Salt Lake, it turned into something much bigger than that.
Oh yes. So so just like fast forward for a bit, this thing has been just like kind of my part-time hobby, like Etsy shop type of stuff. And then the COVID hit. I still working full-time at the fashion in the fashion industry, but it's just like get at the point that I feel like I'm kind of burning out.
Yeah.
And at that time also like I have the free time that I can like make my own clothes. So like I'm just like actually like start making like my own clothes with like all like bed sheets or like some like tablecloth, and people tend to love it. Like people at the office like, like where do you get that? I make my clothes. Like I make my own clothes, and it's like it's just like kind of start from there. And then so in that like 2021, I'm just like kind of reevaluate a little bit like my life and like things that been going on. And I feel like maybe I just want to do something just like kind of for myself.
Yeah.
Something that kind of more like a fulfill like my creative dream. That time. So but it's just like doing that or like running business full-time in New York is just kind of tough.
It's a
cutthroat
world
right. And
out there,
like the expenses, everything, and it just like start the business just like by myself, like from the ground up. It's just like not that practical. So I was just like kind of thinking about like, oh, maybe like we can like I can just like relocate into somewhere. And then Chris, my partner, so he grew up here.
Oh, okay.
So
because that was one of my questions. Yeah, why Salt Lake City?
but it's like at that time like we was just like looking, oh, like should we like move to like Oregon, should we move to like Washington, like we just like we have like couple options too. And then it's just like, you know what, maybe just like take it easy, like he has like his family here, you know, at least like we have a little support system. So okay, let's move here then. Perfect. and then it's just like 2 weeks notice, pack all the stuff, drive to U-Haul. Yep, we set up here.
In 2 weeks, you just made that decision.
Actually, it's been like I would say like couple months of that, couple months of that. But basically, just like that how it's like kind of planned out. That okay, you know what? I'm just gonna make my Etsy shop full time.
Yeah.
So that is like kind of my decision.
Okay.
So at that point, it's just like okay, the setup there is more like when we're gonna book the U-Haul truck. Whenever I get it booked, okay, that's a setup like deadline.
We have a moving date now.
Yes. So that is our plan. And then like once we like got here, and then like I spent another 2-3 months like totally like develop everything, like you know, making patterns, making samples, sourcing some like materials, and then just like totally do everything like start from like zero.
So I want to hit on that because your material sourcing, you are using quilted like vintage pieces, you're like you said tablecloths, and there are some beautiful pieces that you are finding. Where are you finding all these like pieces that you're using?
It's all over the place. Like I could like you would see me in like DI or like you know like Goodwill, or I do bidding on eBay to get like the rare pieces. I do have some connections because like back in New York, I do like, you know, like go to like a trade shows. So I have like some connection from over there, like those like a, you know, like a old vintage quilt.
So like rag houses and stuff like that?
Yeah, like a dealer, basically. They're really like a, you know, seller from like a Pennsylvania. Like, so that is like how I get like a good pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got an inside source.
Yeah, a little inside source. But it's just like, basically it's like kind of all over the place. And sometimes it's just like, you just need a little kind of try to visualize like how is, you know, oh, this like this fabric or this blanket has a potential.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like when you get the material, it's like it's super beat up. And like you have to clean it, you have to fix it. Sometimes it's like a lot of that process before it turns into the garment.
Okay. So you're kind of going through a full rundown of it to get it to where it's at, like for your final pieces.
Because I imagine especially the older quilts need a lot of mending, patchwork, that kind of thing.
Yes. And like some pieces, they're expensive. So and even like, you know, when you try to cut or like plan things out, it's just like you cannot make the mistake because you don't have anything to replace.
You can't run to the store and get more fabric.
I can't just go to a fabric store and like fix it. Like I can't do that. So it's a little, you know, have to be careful like doing all the process. But it's just like, you know, once it's done, it's just like, oh my god, it's, you know, it's so pretty.
Yeah, they're
gorgeous.
Unique, pieces of art when you are done with some of the pieces that you have.
Yes.
I want to talk about what got you into the fashion world, because a little bit on your bio on your website says your grandma was a dressmaker in her previous, or I guess past life.
In the past?
Yeah, I mean in the past. And then your mom kind of inspired you to be a maker in that sense. But why fashion? What drove you that direction?
Oh, it's a long, I would say it's a long process, a kind of long journey to get like to this point, because actually like my original like background, I graduate major art education.
Okay.
So I'm an art teacher actually. But when it was like in the school, like this like art education, so you just have to, you know, experiment a lot of things. Like you have to learn like oil painting, you have to do like product design, like that type of stuff. And then when I'm like sophomore senior, it's like that's like some like a fashion class.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, this is like what I like so I'm more interested in graphic design and like fashion. So that type of stuff. So I was kind of, you know, a lot of time kind of back and forth between like these like two worlds, like kind of like quite long time. And then and after let's say like after I graduate like bachelor degree in like art education, I moved to New York because like I was no actually art education no, it's really like a long journey. So it's like a art education, and then I went under grad school master in like a fashion design
Okay.
before I moved to New York.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I moved to New York, I'm just like, I want to like find something like really like a short program, just like a continuing school or something that I can like, you know, maybe like get into like an intern program in like a fashion industry or like, you know, like a graphic design industry, something like that. So it's just like kind of pick and choose at that time. But then my first intern, I landed in a denim company as a like assistant like designer like over there. So I worked there like as an intern, and then after that they hired me as an assistant designer. And so my career path just like kind of grown from there.
From that point,
Right.
Yeah. So that's why it's just like it's a lot of like kind of zigzag, I would say. But then I'm just like, yeah, I think I really like fashion. I really like to like making clothes, design clothes. Yeah.
With your original designs, how long did it take you to come up with like your patterns and everything? And are you still making new patterns, or are you using the patterns to just make new stuff with new materials that you have?
I do have like the, let's say, the standard style
Okay.
that I came up like in the beginning, and I'm still like using it. And I also like come up maybe like spring summer, I have like some like a new style that I run it for like maybe 10-15 pieces, and then like I just like go back to like my classic style, because like I would like kind of describe like my brand as like a slow paced fashion.
Yeah.
So I don't go like something that, you know, too like into the trend.
Yeah.
Basically. So the design that I do usually just like pretty much basic, but the material would just like speak itself.
Yeah. So slow pace fashion is a term I saw on your website and like that you like to use. How many pieces are you making when you're, or let's ask it this way. How long does it take you to make some of your pieces?
It really depends, because like sometimes it depends on the material and like how long I need to clean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like to clean it, to fix it before like really like making into the garment. And slow pace fashion, I would say is more like defined by what can I say? It's like, you know, like you're not just like keep making and have people like just like buy. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, like instant like all the time. So I would say like monthly I would have like maybe 10 to 30 pieces
Okay.
have available. But it's like that's it. And then like I do like a custom orders, like custom pieces.
Yeah, I noticed on your site you didn't have an option for doing custom. Do you get like when you take a custom order, is it custom to your patterns, or is it custom to like what a customer wants? Like where like it's like, I've got this idea, can you make something like that?
Can be both way.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I do have like some requests like, oh, can you do I'm getting married, can you do like my dinner dress, like something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So and then I just like made her like a old like a French like lace like tablecloth into like a her dress, like a dinner dress.
Oh, how pretty.
Like something like that. Or like, you know, some people I just want to do the set, but I saw your style, like, you doing short. Can you do like a more like a trouser? Yeah, so we can like just like talk, because like everything is just like whatever you like, and then we can talk about it in detail. That's why how it's like custom made, I would say.
Have you ever had people bring in like their, or give you their own like quilts or pieces to turn into garments?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, is there like a heirloom like quilt, and it's like, oh, like my grandma just like give me this, like can you like, you know, just like make it to the jacket. It's like, yeah, sure, like I can do that.
How special.
Yeah.
Do you have a story that sticks out from like somebody giving you or asking for a custom that like kind of sticks out to you?
Actually, this is that's few story. That's like this like some of like a heirloom like quilts that it's been like passed on like 2-3 generations, and it's super worn now, and that's why it's like, can you just like do something? So I just like, you know, take like the good part of it and make it to the jacket. And that's another story. This is like the old client who, when he was getting married, he ordered me like order his like custom bow tie, and then his mom passed away, like, you know, like kind of years later, and he reached out to me, could you make the bow tie for me using like his mom's blouse?
Oh, how special.
Yeah, it's like something like that. It's just like he just like kind of give like totally like special request. So just like, you know, because like, he wants to keep like the memory. Yeah. So yeah, that's quite
that's
quite
special.
Stories.
That's very special for to be able to. Is it hard to cut into some of these heirloom pieces?
I know.
I would have so much anxiety.
That's why, but I feel like, because like each piece is always anxiety before I cut it.
Yeah.
Like it's always like deep breath, and then like 1, 2, 3, cut it. Because like sometimes it's like, it's really like each piece is, I feel like it's really special.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you see like all the detail of like those like old stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, they all hand stitches. Like, you know, it's like, and it's like the whole blanket. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
Like it's like, it's crazy. Or like sometimes I got it's the quilt is called friendship quilt. So the friendship quilt usually back then, when the story, like the history of it is like, when people move away, sometimes like the church or like the community will organize, like, you know, give people in the community like a block of quilt, and then like they will like embroidery their name on it, and then they will put together like the blanket and give to that person who like move away. And then somehow I got that type of piece.
Oh wow.
To do, and then say sometimes you see like the year that embroidered like 1938 with the name on it.
Oh,
that's so cool.
So somehow it's like, when you got it, like, oh man. Yes. I got quite a few of like those pieces, and it's like, is incredible. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's very cool. And then you get to give it a second life.
Yes. Yeah. And then, you know, it's like, it's almost like it's a piece that it's just sitting in someone's attic, and then people just forget about it. But why don't just like give it a new life? So, you know, and it's such a special thing. I feel like it's you know, it's just like give it that really like a special one of the kind that, you know, you like, let's say like you buy this jacket, you would be able to even pass along to someone also.
It then becomes another heirloom piece.
Exactly.
Well, because I can speak from experience. I've had my grandpa's Union jacket like for a long time. So like he had it, then it was like in my dad's closet, and then I started wearing it, kind of thing. And then I have a few pieces of my like dad's that he would wear for like his truck clubs when he was in, like, I mean, he's probably like late teens, early 20s kind of thing. So I'm like, this is like a 40-year-old t-shirt that I'm like wearing to like school, and I'm like, cool. And I'm like, oh wait, I kind of realized this is an old piece. I don't want to damage this piece.
I know,
but
right?
I could see those pieces where you have things that mean so much to somebody, and they want to give it new life. They want to bring it like back out from the attic or stuff. But it's that makes me so nervous on cutting into some things. I have because I do so much camera work. Sometimes like I know the history of the camera, and it's always tough. I'm like, ooh, do I really want to clean this? Do I really want anything to like change about like where I got this stuff? Because it's like, oh, there's a little bit of history in that like piece that you're working in. With that, you Etsy. So let's jump into. So you sell primarily on Etsy. You also do a few local shows as well.
Yeah.
But Etsy, you're award winning.
Yes.
On Etsy. What?
Etsy Design Award winner.
Yeah, that was something. That was really something to me. It's really that like the validation.
Yeah.
That is like, I feel like, you know, that I follow my gut and like I follow it through kind of thing. And then it's like, oh, and then like someone recognize it.
Yeah.
That's like what I
so
feel.
with that process, what did you submit into it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you submit into it, it went through a process of kind of judging and go, how long did it take for you to like find out that you actually were the chosen?
Months. And I totally forgot.
Oh,
I forgot about it, and then I got an email. Oh, you're in like a top 100, like, and then like, oh, and then you're in the top 10. Yes. And then I was like, oh, okay. But it's like because like, you know, like Etsy is such a huge platform, and so I'm just like, you know, you never know kind of thing, and then I'm just like, you know, I'll just do my best, just, you know, go through the process. And then like once, you know, you got some like exciting new like the update, oh, you're in like that top 100, and then like you got like top 10 kind of thing. So just, you know, get a little excitement, nail biting a little bit, and then it's like, oh, and then like you're like the winner of this category. Yay! Yeah, so that was a good one.
Did it bring a whole new audience to what you were doing by winning that?
Yes.
And
yes, totally.
Did the orders kind of become overwhelming?
At that time, yes. At that time when it published, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, because I usually like I really like have limited pieces, just like, you know, launch like each month. I don't do a lot, but then at that time I was like, oh god, I should have more, like made more because like, you know, it's just like at that time. But anyway, it's just like I did my best, and then I'm just like, I was like really happy about that, like the whole thing, and also it's just because there's such a huge platform, it's just like, you know, kind of get like kind of free advertisement from like a big platform, so you know,
push that forward.
It's
validation, like,
I'm good. I'm good. Whatever you need, I'm good.
So that was 2022?
22.
Okay, 2022.
Yeah.
And so since then you've done some local markets as well. What made you start going into local markets?
Actually, it's really like first month that we moved here is like a July, and then August is like the craft lake, and then like I saw, you know, there was like a yard sign like in like our neighborhood. It's like, oh, let's check it out. So like that first year when we moved here, we just like I just like kind of went to check like the market. I never thought that I'm gonna do it or anything, but it's like, oh, but this is kind of cool, like, you know, like kind of artist community over here. So it's like, you know what, maybe next year I'll try. So and then I did, and then like I got pretty like kind of good feedbacks like from here, like, you know, like a good, really nice, awesome welcome vibe. So that's why, so that's how just like being like continuing like going back like to the Crab Lake City.
We had a very similar
I was gonna say, we say the same thing. It's one of our favorite markets. It's so awesome.
we did the same thing the first time when we moved out here. We're like, oh, check out this.
We also moved here in July.
We did move here in July, but
then
I think we missed the first.
I think we did miss the
year.
first one, yeah.
And I think what we did is we saw it and we're like, oh my god, that's so cool. We should go to that. Oh, that was last weekend.
We missed
or something.
it, yeah.
Like, oh no. So we kind of like kept it in our minds, and then we went the next year, which would have been the same year you went for your first time also.
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah, 2021 was the first show we went and like checked out and like, oh, look at this. This is really cool.
Mhm.
And then we're like, I think we could be here next year. Maybe do we try this? And we're like, I don't know if we could do this. And then we did it, and we're just like, oh man, we're hooked.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
like for me, for me, it's just such a like a nice, cool environment. Like,
Yeah.
and then or let's say like just being there and like make connection with artists,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with like all talented people there. That is already awesome.
There's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much talent there. It is so
That is the
fun to walk around and see all the cool stuff.
right.
Well, and everyone's so nice, and everyone wants to talk about like what they're doing and what you're doing, and yeah.
Right. So that's why it's just like it's such a like nice community, like that we kind of support each other.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. Or somehow it's like, oh, I'm a big fan. I actually like follow you on Instagram, but I never seen you in person. Hi.
I think I said the same thing to you when we were with neighbors. Like, I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, because like somehow it's just like I be like follow like some like artists like over here, but it's just like I never really like met them in person. And I was like, oh, you're here, yay! Yeah, that's what like I experienced. So that's why it's like, okay, you know what? Even though like I'm not doing like a lot of market, but it's like Crab Lake City is like I have to do it. I just have to do it.
Yeah. Well, it seems like every year that you've done it, going back through some of your like posts, you've stepped up like what you've like presented yourself with. Because last year when we were there next to you, you had this large, oversized canvas painting that you did by hand, right?
I have a back pain because I literally paint that on my kitchen floor.
But okay, so we're talking 10 feet wide.
Yeah, 10 by 10
By,
booth, yeah.
Is it 10 feet tall? Is
Yes. It's literally it's like a canvas for like a paint, like a cloth drop.
To drop
Yeah.
canvas.
Yeah, so I bought that from like a Home Depot, and you know what? I'm just gonna paint it.
How long did that take you?
Oh, couple weeks, and it's like I like literally like the first day at Crab, like I have like a heat pad like on my back because like my back like so stiff, and I was like literally like last like maybe 3-4 days before the show, I'm just like lack of sleep. I just try to finish this.
Like, why did I do this?
But it's just like I don't know, because I feel like it's such a big deal for me to be on the local market. So like each year I just try to like do like a little display design kind of
Because
thing.
your holiday market, you had a fireplace
Yes.
at the holiday
Yes.
market.
Yes.
And then your year before that, I think there was
The
it was more
flower.
open.
Yes, with like a giant flower.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait, how did you keep your dogs off of the painting, like while you were painting on the kitchen floor? Because you also have dogs.
They step on. They come say hi. Like, but I just like, dude, keep out. Get off. Yes, but they step on.
So you've applied for this year's Craft Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a plan for what you're going to be doing for the booth, or do
Not
we want to just
yet.
keove it secret?
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
I mean, right now it's like not yet, but I will have something for sure. But I love doing this because it's like it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and because like I don't do like local market a lot, so for me I just want to give all my energy. Just and because like like this play design is kind of something that I like too. Yeah, I feel like when I was in the art education, we call ourselves like duck. We can walk and we can swim. We can do all things.
I like that.
So just kind of more like a try to be like that, like a well-rounded.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do like product design, we can do it. If you want to do like painting, we can do it. So that type of like mentality is kind of built up since college. So like when it's like we have the show, I'm just gonna do my shop. It's just like it's not just like the clothing, but it's just like the whole presentation. Yeah, that's type.
So I want to talk about, because you have your presentation and everything, but your pieces, when you get a piece of fabric, I want to kind of go into your process about
Mhm.
what you're doing. You already talked about you got to go through the cleaning, the mending, and stuff. But when you lay out that piece of fabric,
Mhm.
how do you know you're going to go, hey, I'm going to make a jacket out of this, or I'm going to make a t-shirt, or I'm going to make a blouse, or like where does your mind, how does your mind like kind of break that process down?
It can be a lot because like when you lay like the whole piece, the whole blanket, it's like how big is it?
Mhm.
And sometimes like I have to like lay my paper pattern
Mhm.
like on top of the blanket, just like determine like is this enough? Oh, if it's like if it's enough, like how much left, and then can I make another jacket, or like what can I make from the rest of it, or like or do I have to make two short jackets?
Yeah.
So, but it's like the process is more like I have to like kind of lay out the paper pattern
Mhm.
just like on top and see like the whole layout, kind of a little kind of visualize in your mind a little
Mhm.
bit, like just like how like this applique on the blanket would fall, like
Where it's going to
on the
land,
shoulder. Is this gonna show up on the shoulder? Is it gonna show up on the sleeve? Sometimes it's like it's just like a lot of visualize in your head.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see it's a puzzle to kind of lay it all out
Right.
and get all the pieces to fit. And being the sustainable artist that you are, you're trying to use everything
It's like
you can.
zero waste.
And
Yeah.
so with
Yeah.
that zero waste, creativity really does start to like rise to the top. When you have a big jacket that will take up a bunch of the fabric, have you come up with smaller items that you like start making? What are some of those things that you
Yes.
start?
And that's become the hoarder. Because I will keep all the scrap fabric,
Yeah.
and then like at some point, once like all scraps like piling up, I'm just gonna okay, hey, let's make a pouch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let's make. Oh, is that big enough to make like a tote bag? So that is just like kind of come up right after like I have like kind of accumulate like the leftover, and then that process will start. But usually it's just so it's like more like okay, the main item first, like what it can be on like this one piece of material,
Yeah.
and then accessories will follow.
Mhm.
But basically I pretty much keep everything, and right now we're moving and I'm going crazy because I can't throw things out.
Can't get rid of it.
Yes.
We've had the same problem as when we moved across the states. We basically like got rid of our TVs, we got rid of our sofas, we got rid of like all of our furniture, and we said, you know what, we need our boxes of fabric, we need
Yep.
our boxes of like nuts and bolts and weird bits and
Yep.
bobs and everything that like that.
We need our maker materials.
And then when we moved from our first place to here,
Uh-huh.
and we now have so much more things.
We can never move again.
I'm like, how do we move at this point? We've built out so much around all of our stuff, and we utilize a good chunk of it. But I mean, the hoarding side of things, Christy with fabric.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm looking literally at a mess of your stuff right there.
There's your stuff in there too.
Your stuff right there. I could go into your room and see your piles of stuff.
I totally get it. And the same thing that happened to me right now, because like right now we live in the house. And we're gonna move to apartment, so that is like the downside.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, oh my god, where can I gonna keep like all this stuff, like all the quilts, all the fabric? So yeah, so it's a lot of like things that go through, but it's like I throw a lot of other stuff, but the fabric I
Yes,
keep.
the important thing.
that's important.
I mean, as a maker, the material is so hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yes.
things that I have that like I might have had them for 10 years, and I haven't done anything with it, but I know at some point I'm gonna do something with it.
Right?
And if I got rid of it, I'd be like, oh no, I got rid of that piece that I needed for this project.
And
that
now
was
I have
gonna
the
happen.
perfect project
Yeah.
for it.
Right. You always like keep that puzzle piece because
Yeah.
it's gonna come like completed later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a maker's
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
Basically.
We can relate on that.
Yes,
For sure.
for sure. That's why it's just like right now it's like I have this like sometimes it's like I can't let things go because it's so special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like Ziploc bags and the Ziploc bags and the Ziploc bags are scrap fabric.
Yep.
And Chris, my partner, is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like totes and shelves. Those are the things that
I've got
we're gonna throw
totes
stuff
and
in the
this
totes. We're gonna
bag.
get a little shelf here.
This
Oh,
bag.
hey, we need to buy some more shelves. We've got more things.
Exactly. And like right now, because like I clean up, like, you know, clean out like my shelf, like, oh, I forgot that I have this piece. It will come back. It will come back. But
That's right, you'll find a use for it.
but it's like we can relate
Yeah.
too, for sure. Yes.
Is there a favorite piece that you have made that was really hard to sell?
Yes. Yes. So
Oh.
yeah. So basically, like this like the yo-yo quilt. So I got like I bought this piece. It's like pretty expensive. So it's like it's already expensive and it's really hard to make. It's hard to cut. It's really hard to sew. So basically, like the price is, you know, it's pretty expensive. Basically, like listing it. So it was like taking forever. And then one of the buyer, so it got sold, but unfortunately it's too small for her. So it's also got the return. So it's a long process. And then finally there's a lady in California that bought it. But anyway, but it's just like, oh my God, just, you know, and then it's just like, it's hard for me. So I'm kind of scared that, oh, should I make like the next piece with like this like a yo-yo like tire material again? I know it's difficult to make, so like the list is gonna be expensive. Like, should I do it? And then I just like kind of get a little scared, nervous about it, because like it's gonna take forever to sell. But yeah, that's sometimes happen, and you know, it's just like, the reason that I have to list is that expensive because the material is expensive, and it takes me like double, triple time to finish it. You know, sometimes it's like it's hard to understand for, you know, some people.
As artists, I mean, we get like there's justification in the time that's spent for these pieces, because you are making them by hand. You are taking like pieces that cannot be remade very easily. So it's like, as an artist, as a manufacturer, as someone who goes through this process and knows, like, I get it, but I like trying to explain that to some customers, I can see that being a very big struggle sometimes.
Right. It can be a struggle.
Yeah.
Even let's say like sometimes I still have like a little kind of struggle at like maybe like the local market, because like people don't understand like why it's so expensive kind of thing. But it's like with my time to put on each piece, and like with like the raw material, you know, like all calculate for that. But it's just like, it's not like everyone would understand, but I still appreciate you, like, you know, come into my booth and like check things out. But sometimes it can be like a little difficult. Yes.
Yeah. Is there a piece that you've made for yourself that you've then sold? Or, no.
I make it for myself and that's it.
You do not get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm a hoarder. So I still have like my first quilt jacket that I made for myself. It's so sloppy. I cannot sell it, but it's like my really like my proud piece. That is like my first like a quilt jacket that I make it like for myself with my like a, you know, not even like, you know, that home sewing machine that is not like an industrial that I'm using right now. You know, that those like a struggle stitching that is like crooked, like still there, but it's just like I love it. And this is like almost like this is like the jacket that start my journey, basically. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a piece of material that you intended to turn into something to sell, but you got it and thought, oh no, I can't sell this. I gotta make something for myself.
Yes. And actually it's still in the drawer right now. That is like, I'm just like, should I make the piece for sale or should I keep it for myself? I do have that struggle sometimes. But you know, it's just like, we'll digest and then we'll make the decision. So like leave it there for now.
Well, because I'm sure you come across so many beautiful like pieces of material that I can't imagine like wanting to get rid of, you know, every single one. I'm sure I would have the same.
That's a quilt that like I bought it since like I first moved here and still like sitting on the shelf because I can't make the decision.
Yeah.
It was a quilt that got into like won second place in like a fair like
Mm-hmm.
in like 1934,
Oh,
and it's had
You had that posted on your social, right, with the ribbon.
and it
That's-
has a
yeah,
ribbon
yeah,
on it,
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
like something like that. I was like, and I got the quilt with the ribbon, like the
Yeah.
ribbon, the award on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I still like nervous
Yeah.
to make something out of it, but it's like I bought it since like 2021 and
Yeah.
it's still sitting on my shelf because like I'm too nervous to do something. I know that happened.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, that is I don't know if that's a struggle that I don't know how I could overcome. with
Like you
some of
said, you
those.
let it sit on the shelf, you admire it, you let it process, you think about it one day maybe.
yes totally.
I mean, I think that's one of the coolest things about what you're doing is, yes, it might take a couple years to figure out what that final piece will be, but you are bringing things, like you said earlier, stuff that's been sitting in attics, sitting in drawers, sitting in the back closet, and bringing new life to it, and people are appreciating it and wearing it and caring for it on a whole new level that, like, as it got dusty in a closet, it lost some of that like feeling, that memory, and it's all being brought back now because you're giving it this second life, and that's really cool. And like talking with other people that are making sustainable fashion and making those choices, it's trying to get away from the fast fashion world and get away from like the mass manufacturing of pieces that like we don't care too much about. I have t-shirts in my drawer that don't fit me. I have gained some weight, but I still have, like, actually there's a t-shirt in the glass case behind you.
Oh.
That's from 20 years ago where
When we were in high school.
but like
Oh.
it means something to us, and so I'm like, I kept this shirt. It's been in my drawer from every move, every new piece of furniture. I've kept that t-shirt, and I have a few other, but those are those pieces that, like, I don't know. I'm not going to wear it again because it doesn't fit me, but I want to do something with it. So trying to figure out ways that you have come up with to make cool stuff out of things is very, very impressive. The amount of time and effort that goes into these pieces, we can't like justify to some people on what it would cost and everything. But it is that time and effort and passion and love that you put into it to create these cool pieces that you make. Why? Why do you do it? Like, why do you put so much time and effort?
And back to the question about like my grandma was a dressmaker. So when we grew up, like when I was like maybe first grade, second grade, she's still making a school uniform for me.
Wow.
And it's like it was like kind of so special, but at that time like I didn't know how special, but because like at that time it's more like, oh, because like, you know, we didn't have the money, so like, you know, she would just like make the uniform like for me and my sister kind of thing. So we never like really like appreciate that. So and then you know, growing up, and then I still like seeing her like, you know, doing type of stuff that, you know, like memory like pieces like that put it together. It's just like I see that like type of like appreciation for, you know, something that oh, like she can turn this, you know, this like a like a basically like old, like my grandpa's like old shirt, and then she's making to like something like she's just like maybe like cut the sleeve and like make it to her sleeveless blouse. Like just like see the creativity that she's like she did like back then. So that's why I just like kind of I always like kind of have that in my mind. And also another thing is I work in the fashion industry in New York for like long time, like 13-14 years. So and that is like that massive like scale of like a production, and I see a lot of ways. I see a lot of like, you know, things that why we have to consume all this like a fast fashion, like why we have to buy things all the time. That kind of thing. Like instead of like buy things like buy new things all the time, why don't we just like have like that one piece of like good quality, good like a thoughtful process and have it for a long time.
Yeah.
So that is just like what I'm just like keep doing what I'm doing, because it's just like, and the same thing that apply to my clothes. I'm like the clothing I made. It's like the thing that it will be well loved by you, and then you can pass on
Yeah.
to someone else.
It turns into a new heirloom piece,
Yes.
basically. Like it continues with a new life as being an heirloom that can be handed down
Right.
generation to generation.
So I just like I think I like to like kind of raise awareness about that. Like it's not just like you just like keep following like trends, like you know, oh this and that, like this is like in trend right now. No, you don't have to do that. You just like, you know, keep it really simple, but it's like in like a good, like well made quality. Yeah.
We talk about chasing trends and trying to create stuff that is going to maybe go viral or maybe get you noticed. A lot of times you're chasing something that is unattainable, and you are a prime example of not chasing a trend and making your voice be heard by just being you with what you do. And I mean, it's been very successful for you. It's been very awesome to see all of that stuff that happens. With all of that said, what does the future look like for what you do? Like, what do you want to continue doing?
Well, this is hard to say because you know sometimes it's just like I would say it's just more like right now it's more like keep this like consistent. You know, keep doing like I love what I'm doing, and I'm still like keep like doing this, and I just like want, you know, it's just like raise that awareness, like make people to realize that, you know, maybe like, you know, the cost, the price, and the quality. Sometimes like choose the quality and like, you know, make it last long. Maybe that's, you know, better than just like, let's say create like waste or trash to like another third world country, and then they just like pile up with like trash of like clothing. You see it on the TV, you know, and that is really sad. You know, like I really like anti those like, you know, one time wearing and then and then like I have to find a new piece. Something like that. Like I love vintage clothes. I love upcycling. I love like wearing like grandma jacket. That because sometimes it's like, you know, sometimes it's like following trend, and like let's say more like a stick with your style. Maybe stick with your style would be better for the environment than just like catching up the trend all the time. Yeah, that's what I would say.
What to really continue. I mean, staying consistent and like just going through and kind of pushing that message is, I mean, definitely a great answer for that kind of thing. I want to give you an opportunity if there's advice for people who are listening and watching to this episode here about like that you might have for them to try and get into what you're doing or just be creative and stuff. Do you have any piece of advice that you would share with them?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Well, sometimes I do like when in the beginning I have a lot of self-doubt. But sometimes, you know, be positive and, you know, like do the research, like what is out there, like, you know, try to find the niche. And, you know, like the niche that is like, oh, this is also this is what I like to do. And, you know, and pushing through. And, you know, like sometimes it's also like how to almost like set a little goal. Like, you know, like, okay, like this week, what you want to finish. Like, you know, if you like keep postpone, it's just like nothing happened. But it's like, but you have to like kind of self-discipline. I would say like for all artists, for all maker, I think it's a lot of self-discipline, because like, you know, you can just like, oh, I'll do it later.
But there's no one telling you what to do or when to do
it. Right. And, you know, and once when you like kind of really, you know, step out here, you want to make it happen, you really have to have that like a self-discipline.
Yeah.
And so, okay,
That's good.
great
Yeah.
piece of advice. Yeah. I mean, so guys, just like self-discipline. It's super easy, guys.
It's really easy.
No.
It's tricky.
Yeah. But like you said, like set yourself a goal. Like, okay, this week I'm gonna get this done. Or
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it's a pace of like sustainability of what you can do. Don't like a goal that's like crazy out there. Like, okay, I'm gonna sew my hem on my pants this week. That like start small and then
Yeah.
build from there. And,
Start is really a good point. Just like start small.
yeah,
And like just like knock it off like one by one. Like
Mhm.
make the list, like kind of make the list, knock it off one by one, and
Yeah.
then like try to just like keep that the routine. But that I think that that make it like building up like the business.
Yeah.
I would
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
it takes a little layer by layer
Yep.
and how it's gonna
Yes.
build up. from
One
there.
step at a time.
Yeah.
I want to make sure people can follow and see exactly what you're doing. What is the best social to like follow you or website or any of like thing like that you want to shout out so people
So
can find out more about you?
just follow me on the Instagram. Totally like all together WB THAMM.
Okay.
So that is like my Instagram, and over there it will have the link to go to my Etsy shop and to my website. So that is easy.
And guys, go follow because
Yes.
every month there are new things coming. There's new fabric being found, new quilts, new vintage pieces. She's creating constantly new things. Hopefully we'll get to see you at Craft Lake City DIY Fest this year again.
Yes.
And get you if you guys are going to be in the local area when that show goes on. I don't know exact dates on that one yet, but if you guys are there and Deedee is there as well, go check out her stuff in person. It is they're
Yeah.
magical pieces. Like they are a completely different thing. The pictures do not do them justice. They're so awesome in person. The detail and everything that you take and the creative process that you make is very cool to see it actually and like physically get the hands on it kind of thing. So guys, go check out everything that she is doing. That is our episode, guys. So thanks for watching us. Thanks for tuning in, listening. If you know other local artists in the Salt Lake area or the greater Salt Lake area, please have them reach out to us. We love having this conversation about all the cool stuff people are making. And like, comment, subscribe, do everything you're supposed to do and to help us out. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.